All right. Good afternoon and welcome to Grenoble Institute of Technology in France. So here is my colleague Caroline Piéton, who's responsible for partnerships and mobility. And I'm Emmanuel Bensoud, and I'm the head of international relations. So Grenoble is situated in the French Alps, and maybe if we get a chance later on, we'll show you a snippet of our webcam. It's been snowing lots over the weekend, and ski resorts will be opening soon. So apart from being famous for its mountains, Grenoble is also famous for its science. It's a medium-sized French town. There are about almost 500,000 people in Grenoble and its large area, and about 1 in 5 of all these people work in science or science-related activity. There's a long-standing tradition of research and development, and also of universities. So about 60,000 students come to Grenoble, are in Grenoble at any one time, and of these 60,000 students, about 10,000 are foreign students. So if you decide to come here, you won't be alone. Grenoble is a vibrant community. It's very international because of the types of industry that are in this area. So specifically about Grenoble Institute of Technology, it is part of this wider um, oops. It's part of a wider university community, as I've told you, of the university community Grenoble Alps, so 60,000 students, and including 5,500 here at Grenoble Institute of Technology. At the Grenoble Institute of Technology, you can learn about virtually any engineering science. So we specialize in anything from the environment, the management of water, energy, digital sciences, informatics, applied mathematics, micro and nanotechnologies, and industrial engineering as well. We offer about 20 courses that are entirely taught in English and are specifically designed for international students. And I can give more detail about these courses later on. So you can come to Grenoble if you're from a Northern European university. You may come to Grenoble Institute of Technology as an exchange student, as an academic exchange student. We have partnerships with many universities in Norway, Denmark, Sweden, and uh, and I can't remember what the other country is. And as well as coming for an academic exchange, you may also come for a double diploma. We do have we do offer a range of double degrees that you can do in dual degrees that you can do in 2 countries. And on top of that, you can come for an internship in one of our 36 laboratories. Grenoble Institute of Technology is famous for its research base, and essentially is #1 in France, I think, for research outputs in terms of engineering schools. So we have many labs whose theme mirror the themes that I've mentioned earlier. And this is another possibility for a foreign student to come for a training internship that can range from 2 months to 12 months, and we do welcome as well a lot of PhD students. We have 1,000 PhD students at any one time at the Institute of Technology. So these are all things to bear in mind. I guess what makes the strength of Grenoble Institute of Technology is the fact that our students have access to outstanding teaching facilities in terms of equipment. We have technology platforms, including clean rooms for micro and nanotechnologies, that students can have access to. We have access to materials characterization platforms, high-level electronic microscopy platforms, and all sorts of specialized equipment that both labs and students can learn to use and use for their projects. The Institute of Technology is structured around 6 different departments. So I'll say a quick word about these departments. The first one is called NC3, and it specializes in energy, water, and environmental sciences. So there you have specialized degrees. Where's my brochure? Yes. It's, for example, an international master of science in hydraulic engineering. I have the leaflet here. We have a lot of promotional material. If anyone is interested, we can post these. Let me check if there are any questions at this stage. Okay. Okay. So going back to our presentations of the various schools of the Grenoble Institute of Technology, we have NCMAG, and this one specializes in applied mathematics and informatics, with a little slant as well in telecommunications. So this is one of the world top schools for applied math and informatics, and they have partnerships with MIT, with all the prestigious technology universities around the world. So very well recognized. We have a smaller school that's called ISISAR, and that specializes in advanced systems and networks, mainly used for connected objects and embarked systems. There's the School of Industrial Engineering that specializes in sustainable engineering. So creating management and industrial processes that are sustainable for today's world. A very broadly specialized broad school called FELMA, which is the largest of the 6 departments that we have, that deals with broadly physics and electronics, but specializes in nano and micro technologies and material sciences in general. There is also in that school the possibility of doing a course on material sciences applied to biology, so bioengineering, material science for bioengineering applied to health, essentially. The final school is extremely specialized because it specializes in paper science and print media, as well as biomaterials, and it's one of the few schools in the world offering this type of courses. So that's it for our 6 departments. I don't know if there are any questions yet. Okay, no questions. In that case, we can show you a nice night photo of Grenoble. So, Selma, there's the answer to your question. You're asking about the requirements in terms of French to join the institute. And there are no particular requirements if you're joining a course that's taught in English. As I mentioned before, we have about 20 courses overall that are taught entirely in English, so you don't need any French for that. Otherwise, we do take up students with any kind of proficiency in French, and we do offer courses in French, either intensive or extensive courses. And also in most universities in Northern Europe, you will be offered courses before you go on an exchange. I hope this answered your question. Let me know if you need more detail. I see that Carl has joined us as well, so welcome Selma, welcome Carl. Did you have any specific question about the Institute? What were your projects with regards to coming here? Was it for an exchange or a PhD, a placement? So in the meantime, I'll tell you a bit more about life as a student here in Grenoble. It's like you have the possibility of being to have university accommodation, and it's fairly cheap. I think the rooms start from around 300 euros for a simple room. Oh, well, precisely. I can see that Carl's question was about student housing, and this is what I was talking about right now. So there's a specific residence for international students that's called the Résidence de la Rue Blanche. And I can see you're talking about apartments. We do have apartments on campus as well. So for a single room, you would have, I think the price is around 300 to 350 euros a month, and for a studio flat, it's around 400, 450. For larger apartments, you may find all sorts of things. The prices are fairly cheap. If you need more information, I'll give you a link to Oh, so there's a question from Lena about our students in international students, I take it, and whether they find jobs abroad or they generally go back to their home countries. Well, the answer to this is it really depends. It depends on what they want, on the situation. A lot of the students who come here for an exchange or a master come back for a PhD because the research environment is so prolific, because Grenoble is really a well-known center of excellence in many fields. They do come back here for a PhD. In terms of employment, our own alumni go abroad a lot. I mean, I think about 20% of our engineering students end up working abroad as part of their first job. So you have many opportunities. Okay, there's another question from Lena about student life in Grenoble. Well, maybe Caroline would be a better place than me to talk about this. Grenoble is a very vibrant university town. There are 60,000 students. So as you can imagine, there's a lot going on. There are, I think, about 150 festivals in any year, and a lot of associations that the students can join. Anything from, of course, wine tasting, the wine appreciation, because you're in France after all, to astronomy, or they do all sorts. And they also have an association that specializes in welcoming international students. So we try to make sure that our international students get have a good experience here, that they feel welcome. Carl, I see that you're interested in environmental studies. So there is a school here that specializes in environmental studies, and it's called NC3. I'll send you a link after after the chat it'll be easier, unless my colleague can send the link in the as we speak. Can you find a link to NC3? In terms of the degrees, so the masters, I'm going to talk about the masters in English that this school offers. There's one that's in hydraulic and civil engineering, and I think one in energetics. Yeah, it specializes more in smart grids and buildings. That's the side that we specialize in. Okay, she's giving you the link to MC3. Thank you very much, Caroline. And okay, Masters in Engineering. In terms of engineering sciences, the masters that they offer is hydraulic and civil engineering, which I did mention, electrical engineering for smart grids and buildings, and there's a master in fluid mechanics and energetics. But there are also masters in French, with some courses taught in English, not all of them, that's the difference, which you may find. What I suggest is that you do have a look at the page, see if there's anything you'd like more detail on, and I'd be happy even after the chat to send you more detail. It depends what your level of your proficiency in French is, I guess. Okay. So I was talking about life in Grenoble. Obviously, mountain sports are big. So people here do practice ski, obviously, ski and snowboarding, mountain biking, thank you. Paragliding is big. What's popular? Yes, trekking, hiking, and the Winter Olympics took place in Grenoble in 1968. So I guess there's a tradition of high-level sports, and the Grenoble Institute of Technology itself has specialized courses for high-level sportsmen and women, which means that a few of our students did take part in the Olympics. Oh, hello, Jonas. I see that you've joined the conversation. Feel free to ask any questions. I don't know what your centers of interest were, or if you had any particular projects coming on an exchange or for a PhD or etc. Feel free to tell us. Speaking to Carl again, I guess the University Joseph Fourier is very famous for its courses in environmental sciences. So it's not the Grenoble Institute of Technology, but it's in Grenoble, and I think it's part of the 50 world top universities in the QS rankings for the environment. So very well very renowned. There's a big lab that specializes in the study of climate change, and another lab that specializes in studying glaciers, ice, snow, obviously with being in the mountains. So what else can we say about life as a student in Grenoble? They seem to have a good time. They seem fairly happy. I think the rates of the satisfaction of international students who come here is pretty high. They do feel welcome. Contrary to many other French towns, people here are to study a master in French. I think the level is B1. But I don't know. There's a question from Carl saying, what proficiency do you need in French to study for a master in French? I think it's a B1, but to be confirmed. Maybe. Would you be able to check the requirements? No, I think with regards to the proficiency in French, we'll need to confirm. We'll need to get back to you probably to confirm what the minimal level is. Lena is asking a question about northern students. How many students do we have from Denmark, Norway, Finland, Sweden, or Estonia? I think we have a big contingent of Swedish students this year. I'm not sure why, but we do see gaggles of tall blondes hanging around campus regularly. I don't have the exact figures here with me, but there are a few. I think at the Grenoble Institute of Technology, it's around 50, probably. For the whole of the city, it's probably many more. Yes, many more. I don't have the exact figures, sorry. Carl is asking whether we recommend masters in English rather than trying the French-speaking studies. I guess that depends on your appetite for learning a new language. You know, does your current university offer courses in French? In which case, you know, you can start preparing for this. And you know how good you are at learning a new language. Generally speaking, I would say yes. It really depends on what you want. You know, we have a limited number of subjects. You know, in environmental science in terms of masters taught entirely in English. The offer is much broader if you go to the French language ones. So it depends how adventurous you feel as well. I guess it's probably a little bit more difficult if you are if you are taking a French, an entire a master taught entirely in French. But it does happen every year. Yes, Lena was asking if we can send the figures of the number of Northern European students we have at the moment. No problem. We'll send them later after the chat. I don't know if Jonas, I see that Jonas has joined the chat. Did you have any questions too? Don't be shy. What else can we say about life in Grenoble? You're new in Grenoble, aren't you? I don't know. Selma, what was your field of study? What is your current field of study? Did you are you in particular interested in any field, or is it for a master course or an exchange? Or do let us know where we can help you. What kind of material can you give? This is our little leaflet in English. It describes, I don't know, we can probably send some as well to, we can probably send you the PDF. Can we attach documents? Yes, I think we can. So that we have a clickable version of this document, which I can upload into the chat. And it's a good way to start. Oh, I see that Selma is still in high school. I see. So this document that I've just uploaded is a presentation in English, and it does tell you about. It does give you the links to a lot of our courses in English and the different departments that I've just described. So Selma, what interested you in coming to Grenoble? Was it? Are you thinking about doing your engineering course here, or coming on as an exchange student when you're at university, perhaps? Do you like skiing? This is a first experience for me of doing a okay. Okay, so Selma is saying that she's also interested in environmental sciences, but doesn't know if she'll enroll in a Swedish university and do an exchange, or if you wanted to do your whole degree in France. Well, I guess that's it's a question for you. Depends on the type of courses that you can have in Sweden and in France. I know that studying here in France is reasonably cheap. The cost of living in France is infinitely cheaper than in Norway, in Sweden at least. I'm not sure about Estonia yeah, and it's cheaper than in Denmark as well. I don't know if that's a criteria for you. So what else can we give you? What kind of? Can probably upload a presentation as well, a little presentation. I think we have uploaded material already, haven't we? So something else that you can perhaps bear in mind is that we do offer excellence, grants of excellence for outstanding international students. So that's another possibility. I'll send you the link to the international. I'll see if we can show you the webcam. Can you see the webcam? What Grenoble looks like with the mountains and the sun setting. Oops. That was a bit of a technological risk. Oh well, thanks, Lena. I'm not sure this worked. Possible question. Oh, anyway, it's been fun chatting with you guys. We can probably carry on. By. Whoops. We can probably carry on now by typing chat only. I don't know if that was enough information for everyone. I can see. No. Oh, no. je vais pas la déconner. Lena, I'm sorry, I accidentally disconnected you. I didn't mean to. Really? Yes, Selma, it's definitely more of a challenge if you do the whole course in France, but it's I don't know. It's for you to find out. You know what's the experience of studying abroad is certainly broadens your horizons. I mean, both Caroline and I have studied abroad, and it's a very interesting experience. You know, as well as learning about your subjects, you learn about all sorts of things. So I don't know if this was enough information. We didn't get any questions from Jonas. I don't know. Did you have any questions? If you do, if you think about anything else later on, do feel free to send us your questions by to type your questions in the Rumble chat or whatever it's called. I'm going to finish the broadcasting, the live broadcasting, but I'll still be here until 5 o'clock. Okay, so this is bye bye from Caroline and I.
Bye bye.
Je sais pas si c'est avec.
Je pense que dans l'autre, peut-être arrêter la vidéo sur pause, non?
Non, mais j'ai l'impression que c'est. Parce que tu vois, regarde, là, regarde, si on se voit plus.
Ah, tu penses que ça va?
Je pense qu'elle me l'a arrêté. Ouais. Ah non, voilà. Stop broadcast, ok. Ah, la pause, là, la bouche ouverte, c'est...